I caught up recently via Zoom with our good friend Zev Orenstein. He's the Director of International Affairs at the City of David, ancient Jerusalem, and he shared with us a fascinating story of how an archaeological mystery at the City of David has been solved, and there is a coronavirus link. Take a look.
You have a great story for us involving a lost artifact that was returned, kind of a redemption story. Tell us about it.
So lost is a generous word.
Yes.
I know, I have a teenager, you have a teenager. So about 15 years ago, a group of teenagers came on a class trip with their school to the City of David. And they were visiting one of the excavations, and on display in the excavation was an exhibit with a bunch of ancient Roman catapult stones. And it's about the size of a bowling ball, weighs about 10 pounds. And one of the students thought, wouldn't it be funny if they took one home? And so what did they do? They took one home, put it in their backpack, and walked off with it. So, years go by, and what happens is, fast forward to 2020, this person is stuck in his home with his family now, cleaning for Passover. And lo and behold, he comes across this ancient 2,000-year-old Roman catapult stone, one of the stones that would have been used to destroy Jerusalem by the Romans 2,000 years ago. We're talking about the year 70. Yeah. And what happens? He says, wait a minute. There's this plague that's ravaging the world, and Israel specifically, and my family's at risk like everyone else is. Maybe if I return this stolen object, maybe God will have mercy on me and on my family and forgive me. I don't want to have. He felt like he was literally, forgive the pun, but he was walking around with a weight, a burden on his shoulders, on his conscience. He wanted to alleviate it. However, he did not want to give it back himself because he was afraid of what might happen to him. That, I don't know, they would throw the book at him for what he did 15 years ago as a kid. And so he gave it to a friend. The friend returned it to the City of David a couple of weeks ago, about 2-3 weeks ago, right before we all went on shelter in place. And I got to hold it in my hands. It was very exciting to hold this 2,000-year-old Roman catapult stone. And at least there is one positive story that came out of this whole thing, that this person was inspired to return this ancient artifact.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty amazing. So 15 years later, what are the odds? And we still don't know who it was. It was anonymous, as you said.
Yeah, it almost doesn't matter, who it was.
No.
I could tell you, though, when I got to hold it, it was just another example of when you're in the place where the Bible happened, the words of the Bible come to life, to be able to hold in my hand this Roman catapult stone, physical evidence of the, you look at this stone like, wow, Jerusalem must have been a major city for the Romans to be coming with this kind of force against it. It's another proof of the Jewish presence in Jerusalem going back 2,000 years. And it's also, a bit of a sign of hope that where's the great Roman Empire today? Okay, we have their Roman catapult stones, but that's about it. You can go to museums and see monuments and stuff, but Jerusalem is still here, and Jerusalem has gone through ups and gone through downtimes like we're going through right now. But holding that catapult stone said to me, that catapult stone from the year 70, that was one of the lowest times ever in Jerusalem's history. And we persevered and we climbed out of that. And so 2020, it's not one of the high points, certainly for anyone right now, but we'll get through this also.
Thanks again to our good friend Zev Orenstein for sharing that fascinating story. Hey, it put a smile on my face, folks, and I think we could all use a little bit of that right now. Well, coming up after the break, another one of our Watchman Show favorites, Watchman contributor Danny the Digger Herman joins us from his home in Israel to tell us about the difficulties facing the Israeli tourism industry right now and how you can help. Folks, you won't want to miss this. Stick around.